Hello and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. I have two bourbon whiskeys, both straight bourbon. So no funny stuff with these two. This is Jim Beam Black Sour Mash Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, aged 8 years. Introduced in 1992 and then replaced in 2015 with the new Jim Beam Black Extra Aged, not sour mash Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I don't know what the reasoning was behind changing it, but probably to save money. See if it'll focus here. There it goes. 86 proof, age 8 years. I bought this at International Market in Metairie, Louisiana. $32.99 for that bottle when I bought it. It's gone up to $34.99, but they still have the old 8 year left on the shelf. They still have it left on the shelf. Okay, here's Bellows Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, age 4 years, it says right there. Introduced in 1830, true story, real company, 1830s, not one of these made up companies, but they were never a distillery. They were always, like they say on the old ads, our partners chose this bourbon. So they procured bourbon, gin, rum, brandy, scotch, and they sold it under their name. Okay, so I guess you could call it an independent bottler. In Scotland, they would call this company an independent bottler. They buy private stocks of bourbon in this case and bottle them. Okay, similar to J&B in England. You've heard of J&B Scotch, Justerini and Brooks. There is no J&B distillery. There never has been a J&B distillery. They were wine merchants, liquor and wine merchants going back to the 1800s and they 1700s, and they merely buy and sell brands, some of which are under their name that they pay people to produce and bottle for them. When I was in England last month, believe it or not, I was shocked because I was walking down this street, St. James Street, and I walked right in front of J&B. It said Justerini and Brooks. I was like, oh man, there's the headquarters of the famous J&B, Justerini and Brooks Wine Merchants. And it wasn't that wide, but it was tall. And I was like, man, I'd love to go in there and look around, but it was closed because it was nighttime after dark. So, and then I went down the street a few more blocks, no, maybe two more blocks, and on the so that was on the west side of the street. This was on the east side of St. James, and it was Berry Brothers and Rudd. Berry Brothers and Rudd. I said, that's the headquarters of the other big famous Scotch wine and liquor procurers. Like they make the Glenrothes and so many. They don't make it; they get it produced for them. So they had two ladies standing outside, dressed very smart, nice evening clothes, and they said, "Hello." I said, well, Berry Brothers and Rudd, I know about that place because of their scotch and all. They didn't seem to know about that so much. I said, well, what is Berry Brothers and Rudd? And they looked at me like, they said, well, it's an event. It's an event spot. People rent it to have events, like business parties or anniversary parties or whatever, for like a company's anniversary party. I said, oh, really? Yeah. I said, well, they procure liquor, right? Oh. And they looked at each other and the girl was like, oh, that other office. I said, okay. So I kept walking on the corner. It was two different facings. It was Berry Brothers and Rudd liquor proprietors or whatever they called it. And I was like, oh man, it's closed. I'd love to go in there, And you could see inside that they had displays of like all the products they make. I mean to say that they get made. All right, so Bellows is the same thing, but Bellows William Bellows and Sons is the same kind of thing. They got bought out years ago. All it was an office anyway, but they're owned by Luxco today, and it says bottled by Bellows and Company, St. Louis, Missouri. So this is actually produced in Kentucky, but it's bottled in Missouri. And I found this bottle. This is a full size bottle. This is no little mini bottle. And actually, this is a liter bottle. It's actually 25% bigger than your normal bottle. 1,000 milliliters. This is not a joke. This is not like a spoof video. I found this at Savannah Discount in Marrero, Louisiana, on Louisiana Highway 45 northbound. 4 years ago. For $5. $5.99. And that is not a joke. I'm not kidding. I'm not, like, it's not, like I said, I'm not going to drop later like a punchline and say, I got you. No, it was $5.99. Because when the man first showed it to me, he's like, hello, boss. You want to buy this? And I was looking and I said, oh, never mind. But I thought it was the blended. I had two different Bellows blended whiskeys, the club whiskey and the regular Bellows blended. So I was like, oh, no, I had already paid $8.99 for the. But something was bothering me after only 1 minute. And I said, can I see that bottle again? I went look on the shelf. Boy, I was more stunned than Admiral Kirk when he saw Khan on the screen. I was like, God. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, a liter bottle for $5.99. But they didn't have the price, so I brought it up to the counter and I asked the girl, "Can you give me the price check? A price check?" Oh yeah, I think she says $5.99. There was a guarantee I was buying it at that point. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, aged 4 years, which is twice the minimum requirement. For $5.99 a liter, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna buy it. Should have bought 2 bottles, honestly. That's the amazingness of Savannah Discount, and I really ought to go back there, but I buy too much, But I should go back. That's an amazing place, or I should say it was an amazing place last time I visited. But I'm tempted, I'm tempted. All right, let's go with the taste, the aroma. And I got my eyes closed because one is paler and one is darker. One is like heading toward brown, copper brown, and one is amber, which I know the Bellows is the amber one. So 4-year age, 8-year aged, sour mash. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about sour mash. No. Just regular old bourbon. Yeah, sweet corn, a little char, really a little char. It even smells light. Like when you smell it, it smells light. But on the other hand, maybe that one has a little bit more going for it, like a little bit more charred oak or something, but I don't know. I'm a little thrown by this aroma because I thought it was going to be clear cut. So I think that's the Jim Beam and I think that's the Bellows, but ooh. Now look, years ago, I don't mean now, because I've never seen Bellows anywhere in this parish. We don't have counties, we have parish. Except at one Chinese restaurant, they had Bellows Club whiskey, but I never seen it in any store. But at one time, like before I was born, you know what I mean? Bellows was like a big brand. Every major magazine, Collier's, Esquire, Sports Illustrated, Field and Stream, New York, they would have advertisements for Bellows. It was like a big brand, and even in the 70s, but that's when it started fading. And well, then nobody's seen an advertisement in 45, 50 years. But at one time it was big, like it was like a prominent brand. You say, yeah, but so was Schlitz. Right. It's 12 packs of Matherns. They had one 12 pack over there today when I went by, but they'll restock it. They'll restock it, which means it'll be fresh. Um, but yeah, I mean, I remember the same time period, 1970s, late 70s. You watch any NFL football game or a college game, they're going to have a Schlitz advertisement or two or three. And as an 11-year-old, I was thinking, I wasn't thinking much about it, obviously, but I was just thinking, this is a big brand. It's like a big time brand, you know. Either you saw Budweiser or you'll see Schlitz. And sometimes Miller High Life. If you had the time, they had the beer, Miller beer. But I just remember that. So I guess Bellows probably was prominent, but they didn't allow liquor advertisements on television back in those days. It only could be in magazines. So, and the only magazine I read was like Highlights, which was a kids magazine. So they didn't have that. They had advertisements or Crayola or something. All right, taste time. Cheers. So I think it's going to be tough. I thought it was going to be a simple thing, but So then we'll get to Sazerac next time. I thought it was Sazerac today, Buffalo Trace today, but I forgot about Bellows. And I'm sorry, Bellows, meaning Luxco, meaning Midwest Grain Products, the owner. Who knows? They might have gotten bought out since I made a video. Mild sugar caramel, oak barrel, little honeysuckle nectar, a little bit of that popcorn like you get. I mean, it's the same old thing. I mean, is it better than other bourbons? Hell to the no. But is it worse? No. Nah, it's not worse. If I was a big bourbon drinker, I'm not a bourbon drinker. Okay. I don't ever drink it. Like literally, I don't drink it. I do video reviews for it and I do taste challenges. Beyond that, I don't drink bourbon. Now you might say, yeah, but you do a taste challenge every day. Yeah, but I mean, beyond that, I don't drink it. And but if I did, if I did, oh yeah, I'd be buying this. $5.99 for 1,000 milliliters. But of course, I wouldn't see that price. I mean, that was a one. I mean, I saw it at that store, and I bet you if I'd have gone back 2 days later, every bottle was gone. There's no liquor store in Louisiana going to sell straight bourbon for $5.99 a liter and going to have it in stock more than 1 or 2 days. I mean, it's gone. Gone. Because Louisiana is a football state. No, really, Louisiana is a drinking state with a football problem. I think Louisiana is a drinking state with a football problem. But I just know how things go. I remember when International Market had that huge display, huge display of Canadian Limited. We know that old man from 1972, Canadian Limited whiskey. Big bottles, the big. So they had it out there for $10.99. You go to Walmart today, it'd be $16.99. So they had $10.99. Well, I bet you in 2 days it was gone. And it was gone. Now, I mean, they still sell it. They restocked it, but that display was gone. Wiped out. $10.99 for a handle. Canadian Limited. Old brand. I didn't say beloved. I didn't say venerable. Oh, well, I guess it's old. It's venerable. But I'm not saying renowned. But yeah, serviceable. So out of the stove. All right. Yeah, this has more char, more caramel, and more creme brulee, more like burnt sugar, but you know that's coming from the char, and more body, a little bit more body. Even though what is 80? Oh yeah, okay, so 86 proof and 80 proof. Yeah, so there's no even though there is it's on the surface prima facie because it's there. Yeah, 86 and 80. Okay, so yeah, I think this the Jim Beam, and I think that's the Bellows. But when you consider the price differential, 32.99 for the handle, 1,750 milliliter, 5.99, 5.99 for the liter. Obviously, you would have to pick the Bellows. You said, but is it as good? I mean, no, it's not as good, but $10, $20, that's good. That's good. So it's not really that big of a step down. It's a step down, but it's not that big of a step down. And there's no off flavors, no nasty aromas or taste with it. It's just a little bit more basic, a little bit blander. I guess we could say blander, a little bit bland, more bland. But it's fine. I mean, you say, oh, I'm not demanding. If I get a basic bourbon, 4-year age, 80 proof that tastes fine, I'll buy, $5.99. I'll buy the whole case. I remember 2 years ago they had James Fox Canadian blended. Been around since 1975, introduced by Seagram. They had this at a liquor store in New Orleans for $50 a case. You say, what's in a case? 12 bottles. 12 bottles. Full size, not mini bottles. 12 full size bottles. James Fox, $50. Get the whole case. My friend David was like, let's buy it. We could split it. 25 a person, 6 bottles. I said, but you don't like Canadian whiskey. He's like, oh yeah, that's true. I should have pushed him on that. But then I would have 6 bottles of James Fox. You say, but what will be the need of that? That would be the point. But that was a great deal, and it was across the street from the university. And yeah, it sold out real fast. College life case of Canadian whiskey for $50. Yeah, that's gonna go real quick. Okay. And I'm okay with this. I don't want people to interpret that I'm slamming it or anything. I'm not. It's just nothing, You're not gonna go looking for it, but if you see it, yeah, if you get it cheap, yeah, it's fine. It's no Crown Royal, but okay. Although it was started by the same people. Bellows is nice. I've said this for years. I think Bellows it's not underrated. It's not even rated. Okay, let's say this is Jim Beam. Hold on a second. Trying to figure out what just happened here because that said the competitor. That's the Bellows. Yeah, I was saying, what was I saying? I was saying Bellows is not underrated. It's not rated. Like people don't even pay any mind to it, but that's the Jim Beam. Okay. I'm a little scared right now. All right. Are you telling me that Bellows beat Jim Beam? I mean, I went into this challenge thinking this is clear cut. There's no way there's going to be any kind of excitement or deviation from it because Bellows is fine. It's fine. But there's nothing special about it. It would be on par with Jim Beam. Bellows 80 proof, 4-year age. Jim Beam 80 proof, 4-year age. They're both from Kentucky. Neither one gets people too excited. Nothing too elaborate with them. And then we got the Jim Beam 8-year. It's age 8 years. It's sour mash. It's so much better. And then I'm getting it confused. This whole series is turning into a terrible train wreck, dumpster fire, whatever you call it, a calamity, a catastrophe. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, that's the Bellows. It does have a honey thing going. So the only thing I'm able to figure out on this so far is that the Jim Beam 8-year age, which I like, is not standing out like it's supposed to. I thought this thing here was not that thing. I thought the Jim Beam was supposed to be so much more developed than these other things, these run of the mills that I have. Literally, when I started this, thought it'd be like I get two wrong. I might get two wrong, have a bad day, 2 bad days. But now I'm up to what, 4 wrong? I got to say, it must be an indictment against the Jim Beam Black. It's not living up to what I thought. Now you say that's you. It's you. You not living up because you can't tell. Okay, fine. Okay, right, fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Frank. Maybe you're right. But then if you're going to say that, you need to get on here and make the video live. Got to do it live. No face mask. Can't wear no Star Wars mask. Got to be on with your real name live. Real name, you, yourself, and I. And do it. Don't delete it if you get it wrong. And let's see how well you do. You might be light years ahead, head and shoulders above me, but I'm not seeing that. I said this in an earlier rant that I'm not seeing those taste challenges coming out. I see people doing videos where they're looking at the products. Oh, look, this Jim Beam. Oh, look, this is Bellows. Oh, yeah, it's obviously way better. I say obviously way better at it. But can you really tell it apart? Do a blind taste test. Let's find out. You think Pepsi's better than Coke? You think Coke's better than Pepsi? Whatever. Do the blind taste test. If you're not doing a blind taste test, you've proved nothing, really. Okay, so I got it wrong. I got to live with that. And I got a lot of like things I got to work through on that. But that's me, or them. I'll blame them. Herbie on Wheels says, hi, hello to you, and thank you. And, this is going to count for Wednesday because Wednesday I'm going to be too caught up in things. But Thursday, I probably could do it Wednesday, but I don't feel like rushing it. But Thursday, do another one, and then we're definitely going to be into Sazeracs. I would hope I could tell this from a Buffalo Trace product.